Welcome back to the Stache Club Wrestling Podcast. My name is John.
My name is Dante.
Good morning, good afternoon. We're back.
Whew.
As always. Wow. Crack open a little.
A little seltzer. What flavor is that?
Strawberry watermelon.
Strawberry watermelon. You know, if I like seltzers like that, I feel like I would enjoy that.
It's a nice little summer. Nice little summer refresher.
It seems like a strawberry watermelon's a nice summer type vibe.
We know how I hated seltzer water or like sparkling water in general. But then I did dry January, and I was like, I want to have like a replacement thing. So I started drinking them. Now I'm just kind of on them.
Taylor is addicted to them. We have cases in our fridge.
What's her brand of choice?
Same one.
Polar
Seltzer.
Yeah. There we go.
I think kiwi is kiwi strawberry.
I don't
flavor.
Know. I don't know.
We get a few different ones, but she that's all she drinks. It's insane.
What's weird is it doesn't quench your thirst. It leaves you more thirsty.
And like seltzer drinks, I have this thing where it's hard for me to burp. I can't
right.
So
yeah.
We've talked about this before. If I have something like that, it'll just bother my stomach.
Yeah.
And one, it doesn't taste good, and two, it won't make me burp. So I got nothing out of it.
It's a lose-lose.
I got nothing out of it.
Well, besides not being able to burp, we got a big show. We're talking a lot of advancements in the Queen of the Ring and King of the Ring tournament. Yep. We're talking a bunch of other stuff. To kick things off, though, a couple things. One, this is like a plug and thank you in the same time. We launched our Patreon last week, you know, and the response,
it's been awesome.
It's been really
incredible.
Fantastic. I am blown away by the amount of people that joined it. Right now we're at 68. I think we're at 68 people joined it, and we keep I have my the email we use hooked up to it. So every now and again, I just see so and so new member, so and so new member. Really, really cool. We hope everyone liked the first episode. We appreciate it. And with that said, here's the plug for it. And this is, get used to this. We're gonna say this at the top of almost every episode. If you want this episode you're listening to right now, ad-free, and a bonus weekly Patreon exclusive episode, head to patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling and sign up for only $5.99 a month.
Sounds like a good deal to me.
A bonus weekly episode.
Come on. We talked about Drake and Kendrick last week.
We talked, the whole time we talked about
We will
Drake
definitely
and
be talking more about wrestling and stuff like that. We needed something to talk about last week. We didn't really have any topics or nothing.
We definitely got a mix this week. Head on over there. Again, thank you to everyone who's over there. We're having a good time. And
appreciate your support.
Yeah. Also, obligatory merch plug. We got merchandise. Use code SCW20 for beanies, 20% off beanies. Also, there's still hoodies and t-shirts and everything on there. Last thing, promise. This is YouTube ads, obviously. There's no sponsorships this episode. So we got a little run.
We have some time. Yeah.
If you could, we'd never say this. Leave your ratings. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, even if you're on YouTube, whatever. If you could leave us our rating, there's tons. I looked at it the other day. I think we're at on Spotify. It's we're almost at 900 ratings.
Really?
Or
oh wow!
Yeah.
I don't really ever look at that. So
and then Apple Podcasts, you're allowed to leave a typed out rating as opposed to just a star rating.
Oh, you can't leave a review or whatever.
Not on Spotify. No.
Gotcha.
So yeah, whatever you're using, if you leave a rating. And the cool thing is, so speaking of that, I linked the Patreon with Spotify.
Hell yeah.
So if you link your Spotify and Patreon now, you can listen to the Patreon exclusive episodes on Spotify in a little it's like a locked
oh wow
thing.
That's a little cool little Easter egg.
Yeah,
thing. That's cool.
So
we'll link it up, baby.
We'll remind you of it once we get into the Patreon. And also there's Discord access once you get into the Patreon. Whole thing. Discord's growing. Ever since this, Discord's been blowing up too.
Yeah, come on.
It's been a good time.
Support your boys. We appreciate any and all support.
Yeah. So thank you. Thank you so much for that. It's been really cool to see the growth of that.
Hell yeah.
But anyway, no more plugs.
Wrestling.
Excuse me. We're gonna start at the top here. Logan Paul is set to face Cody Rhodes at King and Queen of the Ring for the undisputed WWE Championship.
Admittedly, I forget what I was doing. What was I doing on Friday night? I was doing something, but I didn't catch SmackDown. So when I was catching up later on the night and I was going through tweets and I watched some stuff back, I see Cody Rhodes, Logan Paul in the ring having a match. I go, what? Yeah. I'm like, this is out of left field, but okay.
I thought it got cleared up to me too because I I didn't catch it live, but I watched the replay either like Saturday morning or that night or whatever. And I like missed it. And I saw a bunch of people talking on Twitter about like, imagine if Cody's the United States champion or whatever. So I thought it was like for both belts at first.
Right. But so I'm still confused about that because they made it sound like it's just champion versus champion, just a straight up match, which is like kind of anticlimactic, I guess, because it's like I would like to see Cody defend the belt, and also Logan defend the belt. But then also Cody quote tweeted and said 2 belts.
Right.
Which makes
I have no idea.
So, and if that's the case, I hate to say it, but like it's either Cody's winning or it's going to be some sort of fucky finish where it's like a double disqualification or count out and they both keep the belts, because I'd be damned if Logan Paul is the one that beats Cody for the belt and he just won it a little over a month ago. So yeah, I mean, I think they're having a contract signing on SmackDown tomorrow. So I guess we'll get that cleared up then, but they're not really doing a good job at clarifying what this match is actually like for.
Because Cody also said in the promo, I'm not sure if it was in the promo or not, but he said, if I was to win, or he did say this in the promo, if I was to win that United States Championship, that would make me a WWE Grand Slam champion. That's a fact. Which like I don't know if I don't think it's on the line.
But yeah,
you know?
So maybe that's something that maybe they just announce the match, leaving people speculating for a week, and then tomorrow when they do the contract, be like, I'll do this match, but only if that. Maybe it's just for the US belt.
I believe, at least officially, I believe it's for the Undisputed WWE Championship. I think the more so in question is the United States.
Well, maybe Cody's like a full.
But either way, it's still not clear.
Right. He feels like if I'm putting this on the line, I'll only sign the contract if you put your belt on the line, type of thing.
Which I hope not, because they don't need to. That would mess up. Like
it messes up a lot.
Logan's on a good run. We're looking to go into SummerSlam in Cleveland with him as the champion.
And I feel like it's just a weird way for him to lose the belt. And of all people to beat him, like Cody beating him, like Cody doesn't need it.
And then how is Cody going to lose the U.S. title?
Because it could be like Seth Rollins years ago. They did Cena versus Seth, and Seth held both belts and stuff. But then a month later, Cena won it back. So if Cody won it, that means he would have to lose, which would make him not look weak. I don't know. Yeah, it's a very confusing situation. I feel like this is a situation that doesn't need to happen. I'm interested in the match
for sure.
I think it'll be a really cool match, but I just. Yeah, very confusing.
Yeah,
very weird.
I hope it's just for the WWE. I would have preferred maybe like WWE Championship match. I know they have the whole King of the Ring tournament going on, but like WWE Championship match and a United States Championship match.
Right.
With that said, though, money match. Cody 100%. Rhodes versus the mainstream viral fucking guy, Logan Paul. It makes so much sense.
People can crucify me for this, but if Logan Paul against anyone's a big money match at this point. Yeah. That's what I firmly believe.
And also, too, I saw like some comments online of like, you know, and it just naturally happens where like now Cody might be getting some boos just because of people just being like, now we don't like the popular guy. Sure.
Fickle, Daniel Bryan would say.
Putting him up against Logan, I think is just smart and just like one ultimate heel, easy to hate.
Right.
Puts Cody on that even, you know, taller pedestal.
Because
babyface.
If you're booing Cody in that situation or cheering Logan, you just really don't like Cody, or you really like Logan. But in this case, if you're having these two go up against each other, like Cody is 1,000% the ultimate babyface.
Especially in Saudi Arabia, where they like the crowd does play pretty kayfabe.
Yeah.
You know.
I agree.
So it'll be a cool match. I'm excited.
I'm excited for the match. I just want to know what the fuck it's going to be for.
Yeah, exactly like you said. Even past a stipulation, we'll figure out whatever the fuck it's going to be. At minimum, though, excited for this match. 2 young guys.
Yeah,
2 faces of the company.
And I saw this, and one thing I would have preferred Logan. Would have preferred these 2 guys being in different matches. At least that's why I expected, because. 1, I would like to see Cody continue defending the belt, whatever. 2, I saw this statistic. I saw this thing that I guess Logan Paul has only defended the belt like twice, maybe 3 times since he's won it. So like, and I don't like, because now we're getting to the point. The tweet was like, oh, like why aren't we saying Logan Paul isn't defending the belt? We were complaining about Roman not defending the belt. Logan hasn't defended it at all.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, the thing with
it's
Logan,
a way smaller time
he's
frame.
Still very relevant. He brings it everywhere he goes. So like, I think that's the biggest thing. And it's just, it's not the main championship in the company.
Yeah. So he defeated You defeated Ray to win it, right? You have defeated Ray to win it. So then
Royal Rumble and then WrestleMania. Yeah, he's only defended it twice. Because then he was in the Elimination Chamber match, which wasn't for anything.
It's actually shocking to me. If I were to guess, I would have guessed he defended it way more.
Yeah,
which I think says something, because at least he's been showing up and he's been, he's not on every show.
Right. He's had a 6-month reign, but like the thing is, it hasn't felt like that at all. So when I saw that, I was like, really? Yeah, I guess that's true.
It seems like the problem they're running into, though, is that like he's such a big name, so they want him in an Elimination Chamber match.
100%.
They want him.
No, he wasn't in the Royal Rumble.
But like hypothetically, they would want him in the Royal Rumble. They want him. I mean, last year in Saudi Arabia, they had him facing Roman Reigns in the main event.
Sure.
This year they're having, we'll talk about that in a second. But this year they're having Logan Paul face the world champ. So like, it seemed like in a lot of ways, I think him having the United States Championship is amazing. But in a lot of ways, he's just bigger than the United States Championship,
but it's like they can't give him the World Championship yet, which I believe one day probably. I feel like it's inevitable. I'm not saying like in the near future.
I don't think it can happen within 2 years.
I think within the next 3 to 4 years.
I don't think that's crazy.
I think that could happen, especially if he's signed on for the long term. But yeah, no, I mean he's just a big name. You want to use him as much as you can, and again, like he makes the belt relevant, and also you make the belt prestigious in the case of like, and he
does showcase that belt
everywhere he goes. Like when they have when his brother is fighting Mike Tyson. They're gonna want him to have the belt because it's also gonna be on Netflix, which is where they're gonna be. That's their home for the next 10 years. But also, like, I hate to compare it to UFC because I mean they are in the same under the same umbrella now. UFC fighters don't defend their belts; they defend it once every 2-3 months. So it's like that's just their style. Maybe that's just like kind of what they want to like replicate and stuff, where it's like make the belt prestigious. You don't have to defend it every week, every pay-per-view. Not some belts you might want to do that for, but not you have to do it for every belt.
I mean, especially now you don't have Roman doing it and you have Cody on TV every week. I think it's fine to have a mid-card title that's treated a little.
I'm not even saying this like as a complaint. Like I'm not complaining about him not defending the belt because every time he's defended it, it feels important and stuff, and he's relevant and he shows up. You know what I mean? He's starting to show up more. So I'm fine with it. It was just a stat that I was surprised to see it.
And also, what I didn't think of, I mentioned earlier to circle back to. Logan Paul main eventing both Saudi shows last year, whatever it was. Was it last year? 1 or 2 years ago? Whatever it was.
Yeah, whenever. I think. Whenever it
facing
was.
Roman Reigns for the world title, and then now back in Saudi Arabia facing Cody Rhodes for the world title. That's crazy.
I mean, they trust him. They really do. And that Roman, I think, was in his rookie year or like his first full year within the company.
Early, dude.
So for him to be going up against two of the biggest start
December 2022.
Okay. Yeah. So almost a year and a half ago, basically. I mean, listen, the kid's great. The kid's got a lot of talent in that ring, so they want to take advantage of it as much as they can. I don't blame them.
Yeah. It'll be a fun match. Let's look at the
card so far.
Let's look at the card. I mean, I imagine it's just going to be the finals, and then I don't know. I can't remember if there's like any undercard matches.
Sami Zayn, Chad Bronson Reed.
Oh, that'll be fun. Yes, we got. The two tournaments, Becky versus Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship. Like you said, Sammy versus Chad and Bronson Reed for the Intercontinental Championship. Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul. It is on Wikipedia. The stipulation is champion versus champion, but that could mean
that could just that might
doesn't mean they're up for
if it said title versus title.
Maybe I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, 5 matches. That's how many matches were at Backlash. Maybe they'll add like a tag team championship match or something.
Yeah, I could see one more being
added. Maybe a bloodline match. I don't know.
Is Rhea's injured, right? Yeah, Rhea's.
Yes.
Okay, no Rhea.
I don't know if they'll keep it this way. I mean, what is it? It's next Saturday, not this Saturday. The Saturday after. So it's coming up. They don't have much time to announce a match, but they definitely
maybe they throw something together for Jade and Bianca, defend their titles.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, those 5 matches. I mean, obviously we don't know the finals of the King or Queen of the Ring, but I'm assuming they're gonna be bangers.
Or even Damian not defending the title.
That's a big one. That's a big one. I feel like they haven't really because he had, I mean, we'll get into it later, but he doesn't really have like an opponent right now, or like really like in a big feud.
He's kind of feuding with Drew, but Drew and Punk are doing their thing. They're kind of
talking about like that's later on. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Weird.
I don't know.
Weird. Yeah, you're right.
You'd think the World Heavyweight Championship would be on that. I don't run the show.
I don't know. Well, we're going to go through the updated brackets here and the results real quick of both Queen and King of the Ring tournaments, starting with Queen of the Ring. On SmackDown, Nia Jax defeats Naomi to advance.
Yeah, that was a match that could have gone either way. I feel like I get why Nia won.
I would have preferred Naomi for sure. Right. She's definitely on a little bit of a losing streak, big match losing streak. But I get not wanting to do Jade Naomi because they just teamed, right? You know, so like Jade Nia.
The thing is, too, is I was like, when the first put out the brackets for both the men and the women's, I'm like, damn, they're really putting like for like AJ versus Randy first round. Like that's crazy. Like why would they get these two big guys out of the way? And then you look at the rest of the brackets, like wow. These are a lot of big names. There's just so many, like, there's just so much talent and so many people that realistically could win that it's like some people are just, they're just going to get the shit end of the stick. That's just how it's going to work.
It's one of the better tournaments in a long time.
Just overall.
You know, because I remember, like, when they brought it back, I would say, maybe not the year, well, even maybe counting the year Woods won it, it would feel like a mid-card tournament, you know?
Yeah, not like any big names were really involved.
Just this feels, both of them feel huge.
Yeah, you got some big names involved in both the brackets.
Like we mentioned, Jade defeated Piper Niven to advance, which, I mean, she is a favorite to win here. I would be.
Hey, we're seeing how that bracket's shaping up. Her and Bianca might be meeting up in the semifinals.
Yeah. Huh. Wow, that would be crazy. We'll get to it.
We'll get to it.
Bianca defeats Candice LeRae to advance. Those are all three of those were on SmackDown.
Yep. I think Jade Piper was at a house show. I could be wrong.
Oh, was it?
Well, some of the matches got moved to house shows. I could be wrong.
Like Ray and Kofi was on a house show. I don't know.
I don't know. I could be wrong.
Over on Raw, Io Sky defeats Shayna Baszler.
Love it.
And then Lyra Valkyria defeats Zoe Stark.
Love that too. I mean,
Lyra. So that was my first other than seeing highlights for an NXT, that was my first like real introduction to Lyra Valkyria. Great.
Yeah.
I'm
awesome.
excited. I'm excited to see where she goes here.
Yeah. No, she's awesome.
So we got next matchup in the women's on Raw, semifinals of Raw. Io Sky versus Lyra Valkyria.
Two former NXT champions. That'll be lit.
I'm thinking Io goes over.
Io's been my pick to win the whole thing, so I'm gonna rock with her. The way she was looking at the crown, the crown. Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking it would be called.
I mean, she's the like in the ring on the mat. I think she's the best wrestler in the company, or best women's wrestler in the company. One of the best wrestlers in general in the company.
I'm not gonna fight you on that one.
And you have still in the quarterfinals SmackDown, pick it up. Which is gonna happen tomorrow.
Have another show.
Nia Jax and Jade.
I would expect Jade.
I would expect Jade.
Yeah.
Tiffany Bianca. This one's a toss-up.
This is a toss-up. I think they're kind of playing into the story of Bianca got hurt in her Candice LeRae match. So I'm thinking they can do a triumphant Bianca, still finds a way to win. Then her and Jade have them. I know they're tag team.
Well, that's the thing.
And I feel like we'll talk about this. We had this kind of dilemma with the men's one of them having a specific match and being like, are they going to be doing it too early? You know what I mean? This might be the same thing. I also just believe Tiffany deserves to have a good run here. I feel like this tournament is, even though I don't predict her winning, I feel like this is a great, like, Queen Stratton, Queen Tiffany. Like, come on. I mean, she'd run away with that. And plus, her beating Bianca, whether or not it's playing off to an injury or like a screwy finish, that's a massive win for her. And Bianca, like, I get it. You want to protect her and everything, but she's a made woman. She can take losses, especially to someone like Tiffany. And then whatever they do next round, they do next round. But
yeah, my guess is I think Tiffany's going to beat her, like you said, if it's off an injury, whatever. And it's going to be more of like a Bianca is like, Jade, win this for the team, you know?
Right. And then I'm fine if Jade beats Tiffany. I get that. I understand that.
Yeah,
completely.
for sure.
But I feel like Tiffany needs a big win like this.
As much as I love like, and this happens in tournaments all the time where it's like the two teammates are ending up fighting and like, it's up, they shake hands in the middle of the ring and they just go at it.
Yep.
I think it's a little too early for because like they just won the tag titles. We don't see they clearly. I love the team. They clearly have chemistry, but we haven't developed them as a team yet.
Yeah,
for them meeting in the ring to mean as much as it could in, let's say, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. I agree. It would feel a little sudden.
I agree. Yeah, if this was months. Like if they won these belts months ago, or this tournament was happening months in the future, I think I'd be more in the camp of it. But I think since they just won the belts, like you said.
I also think they're building so much like good chemistry too. Where I don't even think they want to like mess with them, fighting each other. Yeah,
No, I'm with you.
It feel a little muddy.
Yeah.
So then, if our assumptions are true, that would probably lead to Jade Tiffy. Like you said, I could see Jade going over. Maybe look at. What are we looking at? Jade Io in the finals?
Yeah, and then that's a great match. And then we get into the question of does Jade lose? Because obviously they're hyping her up as the biggest, like one of the biggest female superstars on the roster. But Io,
Queen of the Ring is a good first establishing stepping stone for Jade.
Oh, it is.
You know?
I mean, Io doesn't.
Queen Io would be sick.
Need it, but man, she would be fucking awesome with that. Yeah, I don't know. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see how it ends up.
Yeah,
but
I think early pick, like, I think they might let Jade go all the way. I don't know.
I would understand why they would. I get it. I said I have Io winning right before we started talking about this, so I'm just gonna stick with it for now. But yeah, no, I can definitely see Jade going over this entire thing.
But shout out Lyra Valkyria going this far. I think it's very sick.
Absolutely.
Good showing. I'm excited for Io versus Lyra for sure. I think it's gonna be sick.
That'll be a great
Even
match.
We didn't really talk about that much, but Io versus Shayna was sick.
Listen, Shayna is one of those wrestlers that like she's so underrated. She doesn't really just get the time or like the. I guess she just doesn't really get the opportunity. I mean, she started off so strong in 2020, and I'm still in the camp of like she should have beat Becky Lynch for the belt back at WrestleMania. But ever since that, it's just like she just hasn't. She's just kind of been there, you know?
Yeah, I mean, also like the pairing with Ronda, doing all that stuff didn't help, you know?
Yeah, we thought that was actually going to be good because they're both kind of MMA girls, but nah, didn't really work.
But I guess, which I'm not too privy to, but I guess Io and Shayna had a big feud in NXT that just kind of got rehashed. No, this was sick. This was like they kind of went out there and like, oh, let's steal the show. Let's steal the show real quick.
Absolutely.
That was fun. Like I said, Lyra Valkyria and Zoe Stark was really good. And yeah, I think that's next up. Oh, and Tiffany. Okay, sorry. I saw one bracket that was out of date and one that wasn't, so that confused me. Okay. All right. Men's King of the Ring. Or just King of the Ring. Let me find the bracket here. Shout out Wikipedia having the updated brackets.
Shout out to them.
Okay. On SmackDown, I guess we can just go by one. Carmelo Hayes defeats Baron Corbin to advance.
I mean,
makes sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense why Baron Corbin was in this too, because he is a former King of the Ring. So like, letting him kind of have his one match and stuff, kind of having that story there is cool. But man, Carmelo Hayes, that would be sick if they let him go all the way, and we'll get into the future matches and stuff. But I mean, this would be also a great breakthrough tournament for him.
I agree.
A great way to really like cement himself on the main roster.
I think unfortunately I think there's too many stories, too many obstacles, but like giving him a breakaway victory would be crazy, you know?
And he's got a big match coming up. He's got a big match coming up. So,
and also I know it's part of the story, but like Braun Breaker backstage like 2 weeks have been like, hey, how come I'm not in this tournament? Which is like pretty valid.
Yeah, I feel like he would have been another guy similar to like Carmelo, where it's like he doesn't have to win the thing, but just giving him that, just giving him like that 1 or 2 wins, making it far, and then coming up short, whatever. But yeah, they haven't even really used him at all yet. Maybe they're just waiting for the right.
It feels like they're. What's nice is like they're making note of it, and he's showing up and being like, "Hey, why am I not?"
They're
in
playing.
This? So
they're making
like,
a story out of it, so they're doing something with it.
Tama Tonga Tama Tonga. Do we know yet?
We said it. People told us in the comments, and I didn't really look it over.
Tama. I think it's Tama. I don't know. We're gonna
Tonga.
know that. Well, yeah,
Mr. Tonga.
Tama Tonga defeats Angelo Dawkins. Yeah, again, makes sense.
Yeah, so Bobby was hurt. It was supposed to be Bobby Lashley in this match.
Oh, yeah.
And they put Dawkins in, which people, including myself, were kind of confused why they didn't put Montez Ford in instead. Because, I mean, I get it, like Dawkins.
Well, if Tonga's going over, I wouldn't want Montez to
I
lose,
get that, but like
you
I
know?
feel like Montez Ford is like everyone's for years. We've been like, this is going to be like this. He's going to turn into a single superstar, blah, 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 blah. And they gave it to Dawkins, which I'm cool with because like they got to give him his one-on-one matches too.
I just feel like if you're gonna do that, you got to do it. This would have felt half-assed.
If Tonga's gonna win, you got to put it. Yeah, I guess it makes more sense to have Dawkins be the one to eat the loss. You know? Yeah.
I mean, if you switch around the brackets here, like if Montez is in it, I at least want to see him hitting the quarterfinals.
Sure.
You know?
Sure.
And then having a maybe getting knocked out, but having a solid match. And then Randy Orton defeats AJ Styles in a huge first round match.
Yeah, honestly, that's a match that could have been in the quarterfinals or even the semifinals. I mean, that's a WrestleMania rematch right there.
Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. Someone had to lose. I'm actually I'm surprised and not like, I don't know. I'm not surprised. I guess I'm just like, it's more so like I could see them both going.
Yeah,
and
this match could have gone
not in the quarterfinals.
I forget who he was interviewing with. Maybe it was Sports Illustrated. I could be wrong, but he was talking about. It was just one of those things where it's like WrestleOps would tweet like all the quotes, whatever. He was saying he said that he would love to feud with The Rock, which very interesting.
Randy said that?
No,
AJ.
Okay, and then he was like, I want to be like a bigger heel than like Dominic. He goes, I want to get like ladder moves and Dominic and stuff like that.
Which like a cool Dom cosign. And I know that's not the point. Of the story,
love to hear that 100%. Even like considering him like he's the top heel, I want to be better than him type of thing. Hell, man. I mean, listen, we knew this already, but these last few matches have kind of proven that he's not washed. He can still go just like he did 10, 15 years ago. He still has so much left in the tank. Let him fucking run with this heel character, man. Yeah. Like let him be like whatever he wants, however you want to do it to hit that goal. Let him do it, man.
Yeah. I would love one final really solid AJ run. Obviously not going to start with a loss in the first round.
Right.
But like you said, prove that like, we can still count on AJ, which is nice to see.
100%. But yeah, so Randy winning that one, have no issue with it.
No,
it's
absolutely
just
not.
Either one could have won that match.
And we'll cover the SmackDown side since we're here. So now it's going to be Randy Orton versus Carmelo Hayes. And then LA Knight versus Tama Tonga, which feels like a weird one.
Yeah, but Randy
versus Carmelo is gonna be sick,
bro. They're
gonna do some sort of RKO.
I want Carmelo to win. So
I wouldn't be surprised because Randy's not winning this thing.
Talk about the ultimate rub, man. I mean, getting someone like Randy Orton putting over Carmelo Hayes. I mean, like they can still put on an absolute match of the night. They could put on an incredible match and Carmelo loses, and it's like, Carmelo he proven himself, like he doesn't need to win whatever, kind of like he did with Cody.
I was just gonna say though, with that, how many big name, really good potential this might main event that night, tomorrow night, we don't know. Like he's got to start winning
if he's going to be the future. He's got to get these big wins. And I feel like Randy's at a point too where like Randy wouldn't care about putting him over. If it makes sense, he's the right guy to do it, which I think he is. Man, and I would love to see Carmelo go to the finals. Like we're not going to leak over into the Raw bracket, but like him in that finals match against whether it's Gunther or Jey Uso. Man, like I don't know if he'd win, but fuck, he would have an incredible showing. Yeah, I mean, I want Carmelo to win, but like I can see Randy just like being the veteran, bigger name, moving on.
But look at the other side here. We got LA Knight and Tama Tonga. I think Tama Tonga's the clear winner. They're gonna do bloodline shenanigans.
Yeah,
blah blah blah.
100%.
So let's say Tama. I don't know.
I'm just say Tonga.
Let's say Tonga.
So I don't get yelled at.
Yeah. Let's say Tonga advances. Tonga versus Randy or Tonga versus Hayes.
See, that's where I'm gonna be confused because do you have Tonga go all the way to the finals and like win or lose, or like are you gonna have Carmelo or Randy go over him? Because like I get it, they're building up this whole the new bloodline, all this and that, and that's great, but I don't know if he should be in that position.
I don't even know if he should be in this tournament.
I'm actually confused like that he is in this. I feel like the bloodline didn't need to be in this at all.
No, like I get it. Like you're the bloodline, so
you're
if
representing
them. Right, you're gonna try. You're gonna want to represent everywhere, but
and then he loses.
Well, there is
you make the bloodline kind of look. It depends on the finish. But
once we get to the semifinals of Raw, I've been seeing they're like conspiracies or predictions, but they're like half joke, half not with Tonga.
T Tonga.
Yeah, I don't know. My hope is that Carmelo goes over Randy, and then
I honestly want LA Knight to win. I think LA Knight would make more sense being in the King. Like I feel like it more matches his like
I guess
personality and stuff. I could see LA Knight.
People
in the finals.
People are saying King Knight.
I think it just like it makes sense that he'd make it to the finals. Like he's a big enough name, beat AJ, whatever. And like even though I don't know if he'd win, I feel like it's a good tournament for him to make it that far to lose in the finals. But yeah, I don't know.
It does. It also doesn't feel. I don't know. It doesn't feel like an LA Knight. This doesn't feel like an LA Knight push to me. You know, he just kind of feels like he's in this tournament because he's a mainstay on SmackDown. But like, it doesn't feel like. I don't know.
And that's what I mean. Hey, credit to WWE. Again, all this talent that's in this. It's like I genuinely don't know who's going to go over and stuff. And that's awesome. I like the unpredictability and stuff. It's not like you have that one or two guys that's like they're going to end up meeting in the finals. Mm-hmm. It's nothing like that, which I think is awesome. But I don't know.
Speaking of King Knight, the clip resurfaced of I want to say 2000, I don't know, whatever the fuck it was, 2011, 2008, whatever it was. King of the Ring tournament. The match was Kofi versus Sheamus, and Punk is on commentary for some reason, and Punk's talking about Kofi, and he goes, oh, either could win, but I don't know. King Kofi Kingston has a pretty nice ring to it, and then he goes, the initials not so much, but
I think I don't know if I've seen it like resurface, but I have like feel like I've seen or heard of that. You gotta be paused. It's like, wait a minute, you catch yourself after.
Michael Cole just picks up right at it. He goes like, anyway, Sheamus.
Right, let's keep moving. That's
like great. The initials not so much.
That's great.
But yeah, I don't know.
It's unpredictable. I respect the unpredictability. We'll just have to see for ourselves.
Over on the Raw side, speaking of Kofi Kingston, Gunther defeats Kofi Kingston with Lillian Garcia guest announcing the match, maybe passing the torch a little bit to Samantha.
I love that. Samantha posted on Instagram or Twitter that day. It's like, forgot to make a Mother's Day post for, and it's like her and Lillian Garcia.
I didn't know. I feel like I don't know if they just did that as a surprise thing. I don't know where that came from, but that was super cool just to be like, hey, Lillian Garcia is gonna.
Hey, whenever she wants to show up and do a guest announcement, whatever, she can come back. I thought that was great. She's great. I saw this.
Hasn't missed a step.
No, absolutely not. I saw this tweet, and it's not like 100% confirmed or nothing like that. Maybe you've seen it, where it's like Triple H is coming down to the ring. This is like years ago. This is like mid 2000s, early 2000s, and she like. She like butchered his like name or whatever. She like was poking fun at him, and he like got pissed and like stormed after her, and then like she ran into the back, like he was like trying to scare her. So the story behind it was apparently she had a family emergency, and Vince wouldn't let her go home. So Triple H was like, I got this. So he like ran her off. So storyline, she's not coming back on the show. So when she ran to the back, she was able to go home.
Oh, that's nice of them.
That's not 100% confirmed. Sure. It's one of those things where people like, I've heard this, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
If that's true, shout out Triple H.
Yeah.
Fuck Vince. But
a little get out of work card. Huh?
Yeah, honestly. But yeah, shout out Lillian Garcia, one of the GOATs. Definitely on the Mount Rushmore for announcers.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, Gunther defeats Kofi. Fun match. Kofi was really trying to keep this going for Woods. But I mean, it's Gunther, man. It's Gunther.
Man, I thought Gunther was going to slap his chest so hard it was going to fix it. It was going to fix the dent in his chest.
That was when I saw Kofi entering, that was the first thing in my head of like, more chops for Kofi. Oh my god.
It's the last thing.
Yeah, this was fun. Again, makes sense who went over.
Right.
I like that Gunther submitted Kofi. Again, it kind of goes with like the Gunther thing. Of just like, he's going to beat you. He doesn't have one way of beating you. He's just going to beat you somehow.
I think that's my favorite thing about Gunther is that it's just, he obviously has like we know what his finisher would be, but like he finishes matches in so many different ways where it's like, that's just wrestling, brother. Like he's just doing something super like, just doing something super violent and just gets the job. He's targeting his leg the whole match. He's gonna beat you with a Boston Crab or something like that.
Right. Well, yeah, he had him in the Boston Crab on the announce table. Goes into the half crab, and
it's like you're targeting something, and that's how you finish the match. It just makes sense. It just makes sense. And yeah, I mean, the right man won, of course, and
I love that, Kofi, like, down to the last minute, he's getting submitted all match and finally couldn't take it anymore.
Trying to fight, trying to hold off, but eventually he got attacked to the ring general.
And like you said, I think that's the thing that makes it even cooler is like, with an opponent that's like, oh, his finisher, you're like, oh, I can avoid this. But like, Gunther can get you in a power bomb, a Boston Crab, he can defeat you in any way. So you're like, I don't know I can't
100%
can't figure this guy out.
Even like, I think for sometimes he'd finish with like a huge clothesline or something like that. Just so many different ways he can finish matches. It's great.
And then controversially,
here we go.
Jey Uso defeats Ilja Dragunov.
So I saw you tweet this, and I saw people, a few different replies to you.
We tweeted like the same thing.
So I tried to be like, so when I tweeted this, I was like, okay, let me be very like I want to make sure they understand what I'm saying here and being very, not smart with my words, but like, I'm going to make sure that I get my point across. And people still didn't understand people still were going right. It was going right over their heads. I'm fine. I'll let you say your piece. I'm okay with Jey Uso winning. That's fine with me because I was very split on whether or not they should have done Gunther, Ilja this early on or not. I was like, I didn't know what I wanted. So the fact that Jey won, they're saving it for a later date. I'm fine with that. I would have been okay if they had it on next week's Raw because I think that's okay to have a big match like that.
That was part of my thing. Is like all the replies were, well, they're not going to have it on an episode of Raw.
Why not?
It's like, why?
Why not?
You're allowed to have a pay-per-view level match.
They just had AJ and Randy Orton round one. You know what I mean? So
we saw Gunther versus Chad. We've been having big
massive matches on.
And again, Raw's a 3-hour wrestling television show. God forbid one match out of those 3 hours.
I would have had no issue with that.
Yeah.
The only issue that I have with the result of this match is that Ilja lost clean. Now I get Jey Uso needed a win. Clean win for him, great. That's awesome. He needed it, whatever. But I just would have preferred if Ilja lost, whether it was because of Gunther, whatever. Even though they're not like intertwined yet, just some sort of fucky finish because he's the new guy. I get it. But Ilja's also just this fucking crazy madman that I don't think they should have held off on him losing clean, not just a few weeks into his main roster debut. That's my only complaint.
I don't even know how they could have done a screwy finish and make it good.
I don't know. I don't know. But that's the only thing that I'm like, oh, I wish they they could have done something a little bit differently. Whatever it could have been, I don't know. Again, I don't write the show. I just didn't necessarily agree with the fact that he lost clean this early into his main roster. That's it. That's the only complaint. Everything else, fine. Gunther, Jey Uso, going to be a great match. Jey Uso being in this position makes a lot of sense. He's main event Jey Uso, okay? It makes sense. But
it was the main event.
That's just my only complaint.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty in the same boat here. I love that Ilja Dragunov is in the main event of Raw. Like, that alone is fucking
awesome.
sick.
That's great.
Jey Uso, super over. I mean, it makes sense. He's one of the top baby faces, you could argue, in the company. They're pushing him to the moon. I get it.
Finishing him with the Roman spear, too. I don't know if I like that too much, but that's just my opinion. Nah,
I like it from the idea of, like, he got it from Rome,
I get it. I will say, he's got a better spear than some. I don't think he's got the worst spear in the world, but I feel like you're beating someone like Ilja, who is, again, psycho. I feel like it could have been a little bit more, like, could have been a better finish.
I get what you're saying.
I don't know. Again, that's just me nitpicking.
Yeah. like I said, I don't think there's a problem. My whole thing was, if you do Ilja and Gunther on Raw, and I'm not to reiterate what I tweeted, but I was like, everyone's like, oh, you can't do it on Raw. Da, da, da. If you do it, have Gunther, like, if anyone's going to beat Ilja, have Gunther beat Ilja.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because right there is the story. Because you're going to have this match eventually, whether it's at Bash in Berlin or whatever.
Right. Mm-hmm.
This could have been their first meet, because they were backstage, had a little bit of a face off. Mm-hmm. This could have been their first meeting. Have a B- match. I don't think they're capable of having that bad of a match, but have a fine match.
Right. But save the best match for later on.
Exactly. Because the story here could have been like, Gunther is the top fucking guy that Ilja is trying to get to.
Right.
And it could have been the story of like, Gunther beats Ilja in a fun match that maybe could have gone either way, but ultimately you and Ilja realize like, oh, I'm not yet ready for Gunther.
I'm not.
So then
level.
Ilja goes on a run for the next 2 or 3 months, whatever, to get back to his level. But that's all it needed to be is, Ilja. Oh, I'm not on his level, because Gunther beating Ilja is not the same as Jey beating Ilja.
Right.
So it's like,
I'm with you.
I don't understand why people are like, they're never gonna face. They're gonna face each other once, and it's gonna be the best match ever. And they're never gonna face each other beforehand. They're never gonna face each other afterwards, and it's gonna be, I
mean, we just look back in the history of Raw. They've had matches like Cena, Shawn Michaels that went an hour. Yeah. Cena, CM Punk, which is arguably the best match in Raw history. You brought up in recent memory, Gunther, Chad Gable. They had, it's like you're allowed to have these big matches, and especially nowadays, with how much talent there is. Mm-hmm. You can do...
And how much emphasis there is on TV
it's
now.
Okay. It's okay to get these matches out of the way. Again, I was split on it, but like now that it happened, I'm like, I would have been okay if Ilja won. Like, I just... I don't know. I feel like it did... I feel like it didn't do Jey... It didn't help Jey as much as it hurt Ilja.
Right.
Yeah? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
okay.
I agree. Yeah, I'm with
That's where I'm in the camp of right now. Again, Jey Gunther is going to be great. I have no complaints of that match. It's just I feel like it could have been done a little bit differently. And yeah, I don't know. That's where I stand.
People are turning on Jey now. You did see it?
I've been seeing that for the last
people
few
are
weeks.
turning on Jey. But this was the boop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, listen.
I saw one tweet, and I'm with you, where it's like, I don't think it was necessarily the wrong decision. And again, Jey is super over. The main event Jey run, he's on a run. I get it. I don't even disagree with it. I don't even dislike it. But I saw one tweet where they took a clip from when they're building up to Jey Roman, the more recent one.
Yeah.
And Jey was like, in the ring going off talking. I remember us really being hyped about it. And he was like, you're the tribal chief. Well, I'm the judge, jury, and executioner. And it was like, whew.
We need that Jey. We need that Jey back.
The tweet was, which I'm not in the position of how harsh the tweet was, but it was like, they were saying that like Yeet ruined Jey, and now he's just a character that like says Yeet every 3 seconds, which I don't think it ruined him. I think if anything, it really helped him. I mean, there's Yeet t-shirts, Yeet signs.
The Yeet t-shirt has been the best-selling t-shirt since it's been put on.
So I don't agree that it ruined him. I think
maybe it altered his character slightly, so he's not as maybe aggressive, but that doesn't mean that you can't go back and have him be like that again.
I agree with maybe like a little bit of it, where it's like, ooh, I don't need Jey to say Yeet every 2 seconds.
It's on his shirt. He doesn't need to say it.
It's on his shirt.
It's on his shirt. Yeah,
I get it. I think he should tone back the Yeet stuff a little bit, because I think at this point he's just becoming the Yeet guy.
Yeah.
As opposed to that main event, I'm the judge, jury, which I get.
Right.
Like, he's out of the bloodline stuff, so he's not going to be as like, as whatever. And I like fun having, not taking it, because even when he was like him and Gunther were like face to face,
right?
He was like kind of all cocky, and like I like that. I just think, I think you can dial down the Yeet stuff a little
agree.
bit. I don't know.
Can I give a little bit of a tinfoil hat conspiracy thing really quick?
Well, is it gonna be about Tonga?
No,
because that's okay. No. I have a thing to go into Tonga.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
So recently, with Jey Uso in his entrance, he has the Fireflies. You've been noticing that he calls himself, the Fireflies are mine now. I'm the Yeeter of Worlds.
That's what he said, Yeeter of Worlds.
So obviously we've been ramping up Uncle Howdy and all this stuff coming back. I'm thinking, I'm not saying this is going to happen on Raw or whenever, but I'm starting to think maybe they're starting to play into that a little bit. Maybe Jey Uso is going to be the first, because it's like kind of like, okay, who are they going to go after? What's their story going to be? Maybe that's going to be their first. I don't know.
I mean, that would be a good, with this Uncle Howdy return, to give him a big platform. They're building up Jey Uso.
It's kind of like how it was LA Knight and Bray Wyatt. When Bray Wyatt came back, LA Knight got that first feud, and like it helped LA Knight out a ton. I think that would be it would make sense. It's a great first feud. Also, I don't know if you saw what the QR code was for this last Raw.
I'm too lazy to do the
That's
QR
fine.
code stuff.
I'll tell you. No, I don't ever do it myself.
I'll hear it on Twitter.
I see it. I don't do it myself. I see it on Twitter. So the recent one was, it was a missing persons report. It was this, what I forget what her name was.
This.
Whatever. But the name ended up like translating to Uncle Howdy, but that woman was the Fiend's therapist years ago, and they did like this like backstage. I don't know if it was like a part of a story. I think it was just like a commercial thing, whatever. But that woman is who went missing, and there were like notes left behind. It was like a smiley face, whatever. So pretty eerie, kind of creepy, kind of eerie, but they're ramping it up.
Yeah,
they're ramping it up.
Yeah, I think especially with Jey Uso being built up, he's doing the Yeeter of Worlds thing. I think he's a perfect first opponent.
Yeah,
you know,
and especially now, like it's like, not that it's a weird thing, but I'm like, it's kind of aligning where it's like he's starting to do that now, and then the Uncle Howdy thing is ramping up. So it's kind of like they're both kind of going. They're just preparing to collide, you know.
Well, the only thing though, not to undermine it a little bit, but
you can undermine it.
The Fireflies with like the hands going, whatever, was very organic. France.
Yeah.
So it's not even like that was like a planted thing.
So that's why I'm also that's why it's a tinfoil hat thing.
Sure.
So it's like it could just be a. I don't know.
With that though, that's a very nice whether that was, let's say, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if, you know, Jey is the first opponent in general. Either that's a nice coincidence, they're like, oh my god, this happened organically, we can just, or they can hop on it. Either way, if they're gonna do it now, they have that, and that's even more story
plays
to tell.
into it perfectly.
Yeah.
So
other maybe another kind of tinfoil thing that I've been seeing is they're gonna tie this whole bracket into a little taste of some Bloodline Civil War stuff, because we got Jey Uso versus Gunther. Jey Uso already went over Ilja. What if maybe, I don't know, there could be some shit that happens in the Gunther match.
Sure.
Jey goes over Gunther. Tonga meets him in the finals. That finals is Jey versus Tonga. Both of these sides of the Bloodline are in this bracket.
Right. Yeah, no, I definitely.
I hope they don't do that.
I can see them doing that, but I would hate it if they did this whole thing just to base around the Bloodline. I don't think it's necessary. I get it, and I'm not saying it wouldn't be cool.
I like the idea of it's there,
right?
Especially because like they had the I mean, they're all related, but like they had the backstage thing where they all stare at each other. On paper, like former OG Bloodline Jey Uso meeting Tonga, the new guy, and they don't see each other at all during this, you know, whatever, and they meet in the finals.
Yeah.
And that's the first Bloodline Civil War match. On paper, love it. But you had Ilja in this match. You have Gunther, who I think makes the most sense to win, especially at this point.
100%.
Because I think this is the perfect thing where he lost the IC title. He's still dominant. He had a really good promo, but like, now I can go and do whatever I want. This is a great transition and a great not reward, but just accomplishment, I guess you can say, in between him going after the big belt. It's perfect.
I would be shocked if Gunther doesn't win this.
Right.
I'm still in the camp of that. And also, like, Jey versus Tonga for a crown, I don't think they. I just don't think it.
It's not the money match.
I'm with you, because like that does make sense. And again, if they want to base this whole thing around the Bloodline, they've been doing that for the last 4 years.
Right.
So it's like, it wouldn't surprise me. I just don't think that needs to happen in this tournament. You can maybe do like a thing where it's like, hell, maybe the Bloodline screws Jey Uso over against Gunther. Maybe that's how Gunther wins or something. Maybe you can kind of do that, and then Jey Uso returns the favor, whatever. You can still do Bloodline shenanigans without having to meet up in the finals.
But look at the SmackDown side. You have Randy and Carmelo, LA Knight and Tonga. Why would anyone but Tonga? Who has any reason other than Carmelo Hayes is an argument for sure. But like, I especially with the introduction of Tonga and the introduction of Bloodline 2.0 and with Tonga's the only one that's getting outside interference here.
Right.
So with all that, why wouldn't he go all the way?
I get it. Listen, if you asked me, would I rather them do Jey Tonga with this whole Bloodline thing going on, or would I rather have Gunther Carmelo have a bang of a match and Gunther?
I'm not saying what I prefer. No, I'm with you.
I'll tell you what I prefer. I'm picking the latter. I want Gunther Carmelo.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
Goes over.
I agree.
But
however, Tonga and Jey are still in it.
It does set it up, and we know that they're going to be doing this OG Bloodline versus new Bloodline story. I get it jump starts it. They've kind of had that little backstage interaction at Backlash. I get it. I just wouldn't prefer it.
And that's the thing. Like, you think of even, let's say, Gunther Randy. That's way more of a PLE main event than Jey Uso Tonga
right there. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. They have a lot of different directions they can go down.
Best case scenario, Tonga loses tomorrow. And we are, you know what I'm saying? And we're
Come on, LA Knight. Come on, King Knight.
I do not see LA Knight beating Tonga.
I don't see it.
But let's hope semifinals.
Right.
You know?
Right. All right, we'll see. No, I mean, I definitely like we both have some interesting theories going on here. Yeah. We'll see what happens.
It'll be a lot. Bracket's gonna be looking a lot different next week.
100%.
Tell you that.
Yep.
All right, that's the tournaments. Blah blah. Damn, we're gonna have a lot of stuff with Patreon. I'll tell you that.
Hell yeah! Make sure to subscribe.
Chad Gable, the abusive coach. This is
great. What a motherfucker that guy is. Otis
lost to Sami Zayn. Excuse me. Tozawa lost to Bronson Reed. Chad was even like, "Don't do the worm. Don't do the worm." And then he's like, "I want to do it. Even Pat McAfee on commentary is screaming, "I want to see Otis's worm."
I saw someone tweet a club like someone needs to turn off Pat McAfee's mic now. Yeah, something like that. I'm like, come on.
This is, and like Maxine is kind of, she's also getting yelled at.
What did he say? What did he say? It's like Taylor not so swift or something like that. I think that's what he said. Was that what it was?
Yeah. That might have even been 2 weeks. I forget. No, we're keeping. I mean, he's obviously in the IC title match. I don't think Chad's winning.
I don't think he's winning. But I don't think he's gonna be taking the pin.
I'm thinking it's Sammy pinning Bronson Reed for sure.
I think we've said this.
And then Chad Reed's gonna get more pissed at his team.
Chad's gonna be like he's the one that did all the work, and then somehow Sammy like maybe throws him out at the last second. He gets the pin, and Chad's like, I was so close again. Whatever.
But yeah. I'm loving this iteration of Chad.
Me too.
I think it's been fun, and I'm curious to see is Alpha Academy gonna step up and turn on them? Is he gonna? I would prefer him to be this dickhead and hold the title. You know what I mean?
100%.
He has. I like he's just, his team is just blindly following him even through all this heel stuff. Yeah, Taylor not so swift. I think Maxine is going to be kind of the catalyst here, where she's going to be the one, because they all know Chad's being a dick, but I think Maxine's the one that I think kind of like
convinces them. Maybe.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like, hey, Otis and Tozawa, like, whatever, pray for, if the breakup happens, pray for what happens with Maxine, Otis, and Tozawa.
Yeah.
But
I think, because I don't know if they should like have Chad win the belt, be the dick, and then he's like, now that I got the belt, I don't need you guys, and then introduces another. We were talking about maybe the Creed brothers or something like that, or maybe he loses it. He goes, it's because of you guys, I don't need you anymore, and then introduces them, and then he starts winning. Blah blah blah. I don't know. They can go down a few different directions here.
We got a couple things. We haven't touched on Dynamite.
Yeah.
This is what we got left. We got Becky and Dakota.
Yeah.
We got the huge number one contenders tag title match.
Yep.
And we got some stuff on Dynamite last night. We haven't touched Dynamite.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's talk about some big Dynamite stuff. Save the rest of the Raw stuff for Patreon.
So the main event, Okada. To interject because we're talking about Patreon. I definitely want to make sure, because that's part of the reason why I'm like, what do we go to next? Like, I never want it to be that like where we're keeping important and big discussion points behind the paywall. Like I want to make sure
we want to make sure we get these big things across and
Right.
then save the extra stuff for Patreon.
which is why like we got Logan and the King and Queen of the Ring stuff at the top.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, let's get into Dynamite.
In the main event, Okada defeats. They're leaning into the nickname Dax the Axe Harwood. This match was
Great
fucking
match.
Crazy.
Great. I did end up catching most of this match. Great match.
It is still like surreal, and this is always like, especially early AEW. I always felt this way about seeing these performers, but like seeing an Okada match on TV is just fucking sick.
It's incredible, man. Only in AEW.
Love that Dax got that main event spot. This was fun. And then sort of leading up to the Anarchy in the Arena match, which on one side is going to be the EVP Bucks, Okada, Scapegoat Jack Perry versus what was FTR, missing someone, FTR, Eddie Kingston, Bryan Danielson, and then Eddie Kingston was going to be in it, injured, replaced by, in the sickest pink coat I've ever seen, Darby Allin.
What the fuck, man?
Coming back from, what was it, his foot? What did he break his foot?
Break his foot and
breaking
then broke his
foot,
nose.
and then he still had the bandage on his thing. Got hit by a bus a few weeks ago.
How do you get hit by a bus and you only break your nose?
Insane.
And he still had the painting over the bandage on his nose, which is funny.
Insane.
Dude, oh my god,
he's gonna be he's gonna
be a menace.
It's
in this
Anarchy
match.
in the Arena. He's gonna be a madman.
He's gonna do some
this match.
crazy fucking shit.
I'm
in this match.
scared.
I'm nervous, man. This is the guy that wants to climb Mount Everest. God knows what he's gonna do in Anarchy in the Arena.
I can't remember if he's ever been in one.
I don't think he has.
I don't think he has. Which maybe has been maybe they're like, no, you can't be in it.
Darby.
Damn it, no.
You can't jump off of that. That's way too high. But you know what? You just broke your foot and your nose. You can do it now.
I guess you can do it.
I mean, it makes sense, like Team AEW. He's been there since the beginning.
Yeah.
It makes sense why he's in there. Like he's an OG. But man, I just don't want that guy to die in that match. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Not to be alive after this.
I think that's a fair hope.
Mm-hmm.
Love these two teams.
That's gonna be a fucking crazy match.
Like you said, I love this whole like new AEW versus OG AEW. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. Yeah.
No, it's good. Anarchy in the Arena, I think, is my favorite AEW match. Like favorite stipulation match that they've ever introduced.
It's always, and they'll have like two cameras going at once, and you see,
it's always fucking great, man. Always great. But yeah, no, I'm excited. And that weekend, King and Queen of the Ring on the 25th,
Right.
Double or Nothing on the 26th.
What's nice though is at least which one's on Saturday? King and Queen of the Ring.
That's early in the day though.
That's what's nice about that is at least it's not Saturday night and Sunday night, which I think from what I hear, I guess like
I was thinking what you're about to say.
Some new UFC or MMA thing.
Yeah,
like,
which I honestly am
you probably know more about than
I'm not
I do.
shocked about it because UFC
Well, what is
events,
it? Catch up. What is
so
it?
Dana White was like, we're going to have this on Friday and a UFC, like not like a fight night thing, but like their own thing on Saturdays, which they always have their like UFC 300. Those are always on Saturday nights. So I was always thinking like, if that's the case, there's no way they're going to want to, which granted you can kind of work schedules and stuff, but I was like, I bet you they're not going to want to be like, oh, Saturday nights is UFC, but it might be WWE. I was like, they might want to like separate, like Saturday is the UFC night, Sunday is the WWE night, so there's no confusion. Makes sense. Kind of sucks because Saturday pay-per-views fucking rock. You don't got to worry. I mean, for us, I don't really care.
We're in the fortunate position.
We're in the fortunate position. We work from home.
We feel for the people.
I feel for the people that have to get up for work the next morning. That sucks.
We used to have to get up at fucking 5 a.m.
Yeah, that was a grind and a half. But I get why they're gonna start doing that because it's
not shocking.
It makes sense, and it's about how much money you can make, making the most money. That's probably the way you can do it. So,
but I do, regardless of a real job or not. I did love it. Like a Saturday pay-per-view is fun, especially a Saturday or Saturday afternoon.
I definitely don't think it's going to happen for a while because they have all these ones scheduled out. And I'm sure it's like one of those, like we're looking like this is what we're going to do in the future, but it is definitely something that will happen at some point.
Makes sense.
So
Makes sense. But
money talks, baby.
We got, what time is King of the Ring at?
I'm assuming one or so.
The ring start time. Oh, 1 p.m. again.
Beautiful. On my birthday.
Are they on the same? Time zone as
It
France?
says Eastern time. Oh. I have no clue. I have no clue.
I don't know. Because the only reason I asked is the one in France start at 1 p.m.
Right.
So
Maybe it's like
I don't, you know what I mean?
No, your guess is as good as mine. I don't know. If you're from Saudi, let us know what time it'll be at for you.
But yeah, like you said, we got, and that means SCW Predictions Championship getting defended twice that weekend.
Yeah, back-to-back defenses. God bless you. Or maybe I win and then I gotta defend it the night after. I have no breaks.
I
have no break. This is like Roman Cody.
So is that our predictions next week? Because is it the 24th, 25th?
Yeah.
Wow.
Big predictions episode next week.
Wow.
Big time.
That's going to be crazy.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And then I guess last thing on AEW right before this, where'd I go? Where's my notes? Willow Nightingale versus Mercedes Mone set for double or nothing for the TBS Championship.
I might get hate for this.
Uh-oh.
I don't like what they're doing with Mercedes Mone and AEW. I'm so I don't care. They haven't done anything with. She hasn't wrestled. Her promos, in my opinion, haven't been that strong. This was a good segment. I'm not saying I'm not trying to bash on everything they've done, but man, AEW.
I mean, it's good segments. We finally saw some physicality.
Exactly.
You know?
AEW has done such a shit job at making me care about Mercedes Mone. Yeah. Maybe I'm in the minority.
I don't think that's crazy.
But her debut was so big and they did nothing to capitalize off it for 2 months.
I think because they made such a big deal of her, not even just like the debut, but like leading up to the debut, like there was so much hype around the signing. And the signing in general was huge.
And listen, there was things like she was hurt and this and that. That's fine. Push it off a little. I know they're in Boston. They have to do it there. Yeah. But play into that maybe. Just be like, I'm injured right now, but once I'm healthy, there's been nothing like that. So I don't know. I'm crucify me if you want. I'm just not bought in. If she wins the belt, she starts wrestling more, then they can rope me back in. But right now I'm not in. I'm not sold.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even want after Willow Nightingale is pretty new to. She's just won the championship. Yeah. She put Mercedes through the table. I think Mercedes is kind of working as the heel.
She should be. That's her. I think that's her best. That's her best character. And I don't know.
But regardless,
it's
Willow
because
Nightingale,
she's so good. I'm mad 'cause she's so good. It's like they should be presenting her as this big star week, and I feel like they just haven't been doing a good job with that.
Yeah, and again,
that's it.
Injuries, I'm not sure what she could have done, what she could have not have done. But yeah, no, I'm with you at the very least of we could have had a hyped up Dynamite match of Mercedes debut and Dynamite.
Yeah.
I'm shocked. And they to AEW's credit, they usually when someone debuts next night on Dynamite, they put it is usually pretty random, but they'll put Okada
was wrestling
fucking someone.
Exactly.
I'm really surprised they didn't do Mercedes versus someone to at least just put her on TV and have some matches.
Yeah.
Also, Willow Nightingale here going into this as the biggest baby face.
I love it.
She is just, you're not gonna. It's hard to root against Willow. Also, maybe timing wise, assuming it seemed like Mercedes. It wouldn't be a shock if Mercedes beat her for the TBS championship.
She's gonna beat her. But we're getting ahead of predictions here, but I think she's gonna beat her.
They just had Willow Nightingale show up at that the wrestling club at that school. Have you seen that clip? Or do you know what I'm talking about? The wrestling club. No, you know what I'm talking about?
Maybe. I
don't
know.
It's been going around for me a year. There'll be clips on Twitter, and there's this. I don't know what high school or middle. I think it's a middle school. This middle school has this wrestling club, and it's all these kids after school. They talk about wrestling and they watch matches and stuff. And every now and again, there'll be a clip that goes around where it's the wrestling school watching the finale of Cody Roman, all the kids go crazy, whatever. Sure. And every now and again, they'll have sometimes a wrestler will pop in. It's becoming a pretty big thing.
Yeah. Huh.
Willow Nightingale just showed up. She had the TBS title with her. She just showed up. Class went fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, the whole class stood up.
Cool.
Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen that.
Let me see.
Maybe I've missed it.
Wrestling club.
First picture, all the bloodline holding up the belts.
But here's this isn't the Willow Nightingale thing, but it's the teacher showing them.
I feel like I have seen this one before, maybe. But I didn't see the Willow one.
But maybe I just there we go. Here's the Willow Nightingale one.
They all get up. That's sick. That's really
so
cool.
like you're telling me she's losing that title? Are you kidding me?
Hey, we're gonna leave this up to the predictions in a few weeks. But Also, Mercedes' first match is for a championship. Like, I get it. She's a big name. You want to do that. But
you think she could have worked up to it a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, with all of that said, I'm not sold on her winning out the gate. Like, I think I like this Willow Nightingale run. I think she's just getting going. I think it's Mercedes again. Mercedes and her have history, but also is Mercedes going to lose her first match? No, I don't know. It's
tough.
It's gonna be.
It's not gonna get my most confidence points for that. For that predictions, let me tell you.
I wouldn't be shocked if, and maybe they do lean into the heel thing, which I think they should do with Mercedes. I wouldn't be surprised if she just wins straight up against Willow, that the audience is a little turning on Mercedes.
Or if she loses, then she's like, I'm gonna turn into the ultimate bad guy now. She's pissed off that she lost.
Yeah,
it could be either way.
I don't know. It's interesting. But that is our show again. If you want today's episode totally ad free and also want a bonus episode that we're about to get into, we're talking all kinds of things. We're talking some more stuff. We're talking that number one contenders match for the tag titles. We're talking a little bit more Dynamite. We got some Patreon questions and suggestions. Bruins were on. The Bruins are still alive. We're talking about that,
tonight, baby.
We're talking Punk in WWE 2K24. We're even talking about, which I don't know if you know about this, soft ground wrestling. You know what that is?
I have.
Talking a little soft ground wrestling. So again, patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling, $5.99 a month. And you get all of that extra stuff. We appreciate it. Make sure you're subscribed. Follow us and everything. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you over in the
after party.
I guess we can just keep calling it. I like after party.
Fuck it. If we like it, we're sticking with it.
And we'll see you. It's not copywritten.
Nope.
We'll see you in the after party.
It's ours, baby. Peace.